Hello, everybody. How you doing? ZEN Chonchai is back, trying to communicate with you to give you some information because I believe information is power. Information is power. People denied information are considered to have been denied knowledge because if you don't have information, you cannot do anything. And we know that people can say different things in different languages. I can say salmon in English and still someone else in different language with different motivations to confuse people. And my responsibility as an American, as a person that has decided to peacefully coexist with any human being in the whole world. Now I have to come here and tell you exactly what's hidden behind. We know that the refugees in Europe, especially the Eritreans, so-called Eritreans, okay, have been given different ideas to the Europeans. We know that Eritreans are very peaceful, historically speaking. Ever since they started their festivities back during the struggle for their independence in 60s, 70s, 80s, throughout, this has been a culture, part and parcel of the Eritrean society, especially the Eritrean communities abroad, in Africa, in Asia, in America, and in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, what we know is that our people are very peaceful. What we know is that we as Eritreans have had a lot of problems politically, diplomatically, in all this. We have a new nation that's 30 years old. That's it. Of course, we have to go through a lot of problems. Because of that, we're just maturing. But in our capacity, we're doing things like what you see right here. I'm going to bring you exactly what the Eritreans are doing back home with all the constraints in place. In any case, I came here to tell you the story about this brigade Nahamadu that's actively doing a lot of damage in Europe and in America in the name of Eritrean refugees opposing dictatorship in Eritrea and for democracy. In fact, these are organized crimes that have nothing to do with that issue. These are Tigrayans. My thesis is these are Tigrayans. And I got to prove it academically. I got to prove it academically. Give me a chance to do that. I appreciate your patience. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the group leaders. Resides in Europe. I'm not sure where exactly he resides, but here he testifies that he is part of the Tigrayan Defense Forces in Tigrinya, while basically reacting to everything as an Eritrean when it comes to other languages. Appreciate it.
بوشتن كونكا محاور كونكا إزكاي سيدنا بعلنا سعادة خدان زجبرنا تيجي فينا مالتي ناتي ترى إني
Ladies and gentlemen, what he's saying is we have to organize ourselves such that we got to fight the enemy from within and without. We are people, organized group, dressed up in white, but part of the Tigray Defense Forces. Tigray Defense Forces, the forces that actually the TPLF runs in Ethiopia and in Eritrea, in that region in the whole, a headache to the societies of Tigray, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. The cause of all these problems right now, in a very dangerous mafiosi group that has been responsible for 1.5, about that much, about that many people's disastrous experience in Tigray. They got all these problems in Tigray, and then this group is affiliated with them actually, and then they give them money, they support them, and these people, like this guy, is one of the organizers that collects young human beings, young refugees, pollute them with some kind of ideological, adverse ideology against the Eritrean people. Therefore, these kids can't go back to Tigray and fight. And they have been responsible for a lot of this. They have been responsible for a lot of disasters. They're responsible for a lot of havoc in the area, including the current starvation in Tigray, which should have been protected a long time ago. These are extremely violent people. Here, this man comes and says, I am a Tigrayan. I am organizing a force that works in tandem with the forces of TPLF called Tigray Democratic Forces, no, Tigray Defense Forces. And this is Brigade Hamadu, the extended portion of that group. So they work together in tandem. They just do exactly the same thing together. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we see here is very organized. This is one of the channels that they communicate about. Okay, they're discussing about actually terrorism in Israel in the name of Eritrean refugees. Of course, they make a lot of money. We do believe close to $500,000 has been actually collected to help the terrorism in Israel. And they're talking about helping them. They're proud of what the kids in Israel, their supporters, the Tigrayans, basically Tigrayan affiliated kids, are doing in Israel, destroying Eritrean communities as much as they can. And check this out. There is no flag here that represents Eritrea. You will never see Eritrean flags in here, except that blue flag. They actually have it for emblem to their, what they call blue revolution. This revolution is anti-Eritrean, non-Eritrean, Tigray affiliated, and has nothing to do with the Eritrean people. Totally rejected. But they're making a lot of money in view of the Eritreans in the right definition based on the dictionary. Terrorist is in action, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Patience. And here, ladies and gentlemen, the guy is saying he himself has posted something. Okay, to his followers, it says urgent information. We have found the Eritrean government's hidden address, and please share to every fighter in Holland. I'm here and there sending you the hidden address of the place where the Eritrean government was about to orchestrate its hatred and war propaganda. Let us all go there to oppose and disturb or resist against the aimless gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, what you see is unprovoked situation. Nobody provoked them to go there and disturb. The Eritreans, as usual, they just make festivities to meet there for cultural events, for political discussions, just for familiar things. You understand what I'm saying? Like any other society. Therefore, these guys, they have to hide where they go because they're tired of these guys. They don't want to know officially where they go because that information is very dangerous to the Eritreans. Making the festivities, they follow them and harass them, and this guy is instructing his followers to go there and follow, to follow him, and everybody has to go there and attack the Eritreans. They have found the secret address, basically an official address. They got license to party on from the government of Holland. They say. Now, who's attacking who? Who's going against what? Peaceful Eritreans, meetings, celebrities, okay, without any violence. These violent people go there and disrupt them because they don't want to see Eritreans organized, being happy, gathering as Eritreans. Actually, they are against their identity. Therefore, they just go there and disturb. In the face of the Europeans, though they are Eritrean refugees, opposing the dictatorship in Eritrea, and they have nothing to do with that. These are Tigrayans, and they are saying it, and they have more material proof to present, if you have a little patience. Thank you. At the same time, we appreciate YouTube for this communication. By now, I hope YouTube understands the intention of my channel. I hope YouTube, as usual, supports us in order to educate Americans and Europeans, because we owe them a lot of respect and peace. Talking about refugees internationally. Okay. Actually, they were just directing them directly where to go. Exactly the spot where the Eritreans were supposed to do their festivals. But not there themselves, they have to stay inside. The kids go and die for it. The kids go and sacrifice their lives and their security in Europe. These guys just hide out, make money behind them. They don't care about what the kids will go through. But of course, it's obvious as criminals, most of them will end up in jail. And we appreciate the Holland government taking them to jail because they have to be punished. They're criminals. They have to be responsible for their whatever they do for their activities, like any human being anywhere else. Therefore, these are criminals basically trying to exploit the situation in Europe, which is ignorance in terms of communication, because nobody understands Tigrinya. They are doing a lot of havoc, making millions. And then we encourage the Holland, Dutch government, and the United States also to just penetrate through the financial accounts of these criminals. This criminal enterprise called Brigade Hamadu. They're not Eritreans. Tigrayans using the Eritrean refugee status basically to do this. And one of the things they did is they all have Eritrean ID cards. That's how they came out of Ethiopia. All these ID cards was given to them by the TPLF when it was power in Ethiopia. Eritrean refugees come to Ethiopia. Instead of giving them the ID cards, okay, they just do the counts with the UN and give the ID cards to their own guys, their own people. A lot of them have come to the United States of America. A lot of them have come to Europe. We know this for real. Therefore, we try to communicate this gap in order to close it, and then for us to come out with a single page to read about the crisis, refugee crisis in Europe, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen.
انت زي كيلو زبزب بالت زي كيلو سليلي خيد سليل انت زي كيلو فحوق يبل فحوق انت زي بتبت خيد دوز بحال نايت قلاساي بحر ايكونن قدفوس بحال نجر يلن اكونيز بحال نجر يلن.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how to put this in English, but he's saying a fighter like us runs if he can. If not, he walks fast. If he fails to do that, he walks slowly. If not, he rolls on the ground and scratches the ground as well. There is no expression called stop for us revolutionaries. We cannot stop. Nothing is impossible. And we will continue fighting. This is exactly what he's saying.
That's right. اليوم ربع قلقل تغيرهم نقرا كايدل لعلي هم انت ساعات تسب تاكس غبرن له يقرا تحت كاوص ايانا تاي تخونني تبزو سلا اكو يبلني.
Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like probably a little bit insecure at this time. He's saying people are accusing me of doing some wrong, but I didn't. And some are in fact warning me to be careful, while others are asking me, advising me to apologize and come to terms with peace. How can I do this? I cannot do this. Even the enemy cannot do it. The enemy being the Eritreans, of course. The Eritreans in the festivities. Older people, women, men, kids, and young, basically Europeans, Eritrean kids grew up in Europe like Europeans, in America like Americans, a chance to meet, a chance to talk about their homes, their roots. But they are against Eritrea, period. The country, the constitution, the government, the army, even the nationhood of the Eritreans. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate your patience. I really don't think they can do other jobs because they got no skills, to my understanding. I don't believe they can influence people intellectually because they're not educated as much. Reading, forget it. They don't even know how to do it, to my understanding. Therefore, they only got the emotions to do the job for them. They know they are making a lot of money. They're putting a lot of kids in trouble. They think they are invisible. They don't know the laws will catch up at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, in this drama, this guy himself is mobilizing the Tigrayans. I'm talking about the Tigrayans with that flag, the yellow and red flag, and telling them that Brigade Nahamadou's group is part of the EDF. I mean the TDF, Tigray Defense Force, Tigray Defense Force. What Tigray Defense Force is actually, the political wing of the Tigrayans was the TPLF, Tigray People's Liberation Front. And this is the TDF, Tigray Defense Force. I'm very sorry. Tigray Defense Force is the arms wing, okay? The military wing of that group. And this guy is preaching these guys, his followers, basically the Tigrayans, mostly the Tigrayans, or Tigrayans who grew up, who were raised in Eritrea, basically, okay, with ID cards, Eritrean ID cards. He's putting them into trouble here. He's preaching that they are supporting the TPLF logistically, materially, spiritually, morally, because they're part of that group. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot see any Eritrean flag in this crowd. It's all Tigrayan flag right here. He's saying we have to arm the Tigray Defense Force morally, materially, arms-wise, and logistically. There we go. Brigade Hamadou means TDF, which means this group means Tigray Defense Force. Basically, he equated them right there. They're the same group in different areas. He says there is no difference in between. The only difference we have is really geographic area. We're here, but they're there, but we're one and the same. This group, Tigray Defense Force, we're just identical here. He's just talking about the Tigrayans, not Eritreans at all in this situation, ladies and gentlemen. He's saying we're part and parcel of the TDF, Tigray Defense Force, whatever they call it, a terrorist group that has liquidated its own people completely. A lot of money has been done because there used to be a government in Ethiopia and they had a lot of money. Of course, there is still a lot of money behind. Have embezzled the whole Ethiopian economy during 28 years of running the government, basically. There was a government in Ethiopia, everybody knows, and this flag is exceptional for the Tigrayan Liberation Front, whatever. They try to make a nation out of us. They want to make sea out of Eritrea, take the sea, make a bigger Tigray, whatever, because they cannot do it now. They're so beaten politically and diplomatically. They're so isolated. Okay, they put their people so much in danger, into starvation, But this is exactly what he was doing during the heydays of the TPLF. So we can imagine how many people have been cooked in this mysterious propaganda, basically, in this political propaganda. It was all a mess. It was all a mess. These guys are responsible for the days of a lot of kids. A lot of mothers have cried. Justice has to be served. And we can provide all the evidences, okay, collected through the years. We can provide every evidence Europeans need because they're still active. They're still making a lot of money. They made millions of dollars. They have caused a lot of disaster. These people are responsible directly responsible for whatever has happened through the years in our region. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your patience and thank you. We are trying to do some kind of petitions, like here, for example, this guy has been petitioned, and we see about 23,000 or 24,000 people. The upshot was about 25,000. I'm trying to show you how desperate the people have become, the Eritreans, seeking justice in Europe. Man. We're trying to tell you exactly what's happening because we are suffering psychologically and even in every aspect of our lives. Okay, we cannot have the freedom to sit down and talk about home stories, about our families, our country, our political upshot, our democratic journey. Ladies and gentlemen, about how to make peace with our neighbors, with these guys interfering, just for the sake of money. Therefore, I'm just trying to show you here that people are trying their best to petition. But I don't know if this will work. I hope time has come for the Europeans to understand what has been happening. I hope time has come after so many complications to find out the truth and put justice on place. I hope the Europeans will understand that compassion was misplaced and stolen by those individuals in the name of freedom, in the name of democracy. I hope enough is enough. I hope.
قبرو ذي كنا حنصبيهم زلنا كمان فيستيفال قرم أبزحنا حنقتلنا حنصبدلنا أو سوسايد بوم غيرنا دينا غيرنا أبزحنا حنقتلنا.
One more time, we cannot wait till the Eritreans make their festivities. We gotta start killing them. Although during the festivities we're going to use even suicide bombings and other means of killing them in mass. Here we go. We will not wait until they have a festival. But if they do, we will kill in masses via suicide bombing or other means we have to kill in mass. Until then, we got to transfer. We got to transform our revolution into the capacity of going door to door and killing them. We cannot wait until they make festivities. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there is no flag, no Eritrean flag here. It's all that blue revolution flag. I don't know what it is. Unless these hoodlums are stopped, ladies and gentlemen, everything will be out of sync with reality because it's going to be late. Many people will get hurt. Let's go. We have to do exactly what the Israelis are doing to the Eritreans, ladies and gentlemen, implying, of course, the war in Gaza. To that extent, they're rude. To that extent, they're inhuman. To that extent, they don't think the world can know or will find out what they're saying. Exactly like what Israel is doing in Gaza. We have to do that to the Eritreans. Extraordinary, not only reckless, completely reckless and irresponsible. Ladies and gentlemen, please stop these hoodlums from polluting the peaceful European society, peaceful American society. They're good for nothing. They're good for nothing. Extremely dangerous group. We're not going to change our identity for anybody's pleasure.
بومب غيرنا نيرتراويان كنقتلوا
Well, as you have seen, ladies and gentlemen, it worries me too much. I mean, when you have so much hatred and so many indoctrination against Eritrean people as such, and especially when professionals, academicians support them into doing these crimes, while the other opportunists sit down and collect their money. Okay, you collect money, you collect this to buy the t-shirts, the flags, for transportation. You go chase any Eritrean anywhere else, and you just make money behind them. And all these are organized Tigrayans on the top of the hierarchy, ladies and gentlemen. To my surprise, one more time again, why Mr. MIRJAM is actually involved in the situation. It worries me too much. Where is the gratification from? Is it material gratification? Is it spiritual gratification? Is it moral gratification? Is it political gratification? I have a problem understanding that. Needless to say, the Eritrean case, the Eritrean stuff has to be dealt by Eritreans. I think this is violation to begin with. A lot of arrogance over the Eritrean people in general, I consider it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see a little bit of this and I'll let you go. Thank you. What is Miss MIRJAM Van Reisen doing in this kind of crowd where you cannot even see an Eritrean flag? What exactly is happening? Why would a professor of her status actually come to this violent group? Whether she understands what they're talking about or not? What is she doing with them? They're discussing as to how to attack the Eritreans, how to stop, not the regime. They cannot attack the regime because these guys are not ready to fight. If they want to fight the regime, they should go back to Eritrea. If they want to fight, they should go back to Tigray. No, they send kids. They send dirty money because they make a lot of money here. What do they call it? Constantly, people are contributing to this cause. But what does Miss MIRJAM Van Reisen do? I know personally from the past, I was wondering. She's always in anytime the Eritrean issue comes in. And there was also something she was doing to integrate the Tigrayans with the Eritreans. If you want to hear this, let me know, I can bring it. What is Miss MIRJAM Van Reisen doing here? Fighting dictatorship? Only in Eritrea? And with these people, where you cannot even see one flag, basically, Eritrean flag, and one decent Eritrean. And then in the face of popular support of Eritreans in relation to the government, what exactly is she trying to do? Is there this material interest? I don't know. Is this spiritual interest? It cannot be. Is it universal interest to save human beings? I don't know. Is it to bring democracy with stones and violence? Why would she get into telling the police that there has been machine guns and Kalashnikovs in Eritrean festivities? Why would she fabricate that? I wonder. I simply wonder. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to close my schedule. Well, in this schedule, right here, they're discussing violence itself. How to attack the Eritreans. How to attack the Eritrean medias like mine. Educated medias. How to attack and go against medias like solo media, basically bringing us this information. They're trying as much as possible to protect Eritreans everywhere, and the Tigrayans too, because we don't need violence. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm going to close my chapter at this point. In the goal, hopefully, Professor MIRJAM Van Reisen will stop this kind of thing, because it's not morally justified, it's not intellectually justified, it's not justified in terms of peace. It doesn't harmonize anything. Violence. I have no idea why she's here. And then I have to let go. Thank you very much. We appreciate the European police to understand all this, and please investigate every piece of violence portrayed in your streets, peaceful Europeans. And then we will make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen like last year in America. We'll try to protect all of our states as it comes. Hopefully they will stop. Otherwise, we'll be here to exchange knowledge, to make Americans and Europeans aware. And thank you again. God bless you. God bless you. Probably will enjoy this music as a final, and then have peace. Let the world be peaceful. Thank you.